This will be a talk about imposter syndrome, beginning with a question: have you ever felt like you are not earning your title, that you get positive feedback from your peers and your mentors, but it feels like something is off because it looks like they just see much more of you, a better version of you than you believe? And this comes with a feeling usually that it's only a matter of time until you are exposed, and it's just a matter of time until they realize the real you. And this might push you to exhaustion, for example, staying in the office, working long hours just to prove your worth, your existence. You might have a hard time delegating things so that you can work on it yourself, and then you can prove, again, your worth. Imposter syndrome comes with intense feeling of self-doubt. And you might be feeling like a fraud despite all the external evidence of your achievements. And there's this constant fear of being exposed as a fraud, which comes with increased anxiety levels, which might contribute to depression. Hi, everyone. My name is ZSOLT. I'm a staff Android engineer at Bumble, and I'm the Android chapter lead. And we have over 50 engineers in Android at Bumble. And at this size, there's a human challenge: how to bring the best out of everyone, how to make sure that you foster an environment where everyone can feel safe expressing the thought. And obviously, it doesn't mean that you want to force people to speak. You don't need everyone to be a speaker, to be a presenter. But equally, you want people to not be afraid of speaking up. And as your Android team size or engineering team size grows, you might notice that some people are not engaging in video calls. There might be a couple of reasons for that, of course. And you might just think that that's OK, because not everyone is an extrovert. That's fine. Again, we don't want to force people to speak. But what if there are other factors to that? And I had this interesting conversation with one of our tech leads a couple of months ago, where he proposed to me, you know what, Joel, what if some people don't speak up because they have imposter syndrome, and they join these meetings where they see all these high-quality tech talks inside our local community, given by who they perceive are superstars on Android, and that might just make them feel small and not wanting to speak up. So I started digging into this topic, and interestingly, I found surprising facts. Like, for example, 70% of people will experience at least one episode of imposter syndrome throughout their lives. And it's not only everyday people. A bunch of celebrities here on the screen or not on the screen have admitted to have had imposter syndrome. So it's not like if you become successful or famous, then suddenly this feeling goes away. Probably quite the contrary. And also, like 58% of employees at big famous companies, tech companies, also experience it regularly. So again, it does not relate to being accomplished or having success in the field. On top of that, there's an increased impact of women and minorities, especially in work environments dominated by men. And women have consistently lower expectations about their abilities to perform. Imagine what this means when you would like to reach a promotion or negotiate a higher salary, and you have a feeling of being a fraud or an imposter. Fortunately, there are things that we can do about it, and I structured this talk into 3 sections: what you can do about it as an individual if you're affected, what can you do as a teammate to be a good buddy to someone else, and what can we do as larger communities. Let's begin with individuals. If you are affected, it might be because you are too hard on yourself, and you might be making unfair comparisons of yourself to other people. So for example, on this image, you might be imagining your relation to other people as on the left side of the image, so that whatever you know, everybody else knows everything of that, but so much more as well. Whereas in reality, it might be closer to what you see on the right side of the image. You might be focusing on that one negative feedback that you ever received and be neglecting all the other hundreds of positive affirmations that you got. You might be exaggerating your mistakes. That one release bug that you push to production is not the end of the world, but it might feel like that to you. You might be focusing only on what you're lacking in terms of skills and areas of knowledge and not what you possess. And you might have this displaced internal coordinate system. What I mean by that is, like, if you draw this imaginary line with a 0 point, what if you place your 0 point to the maximum possible achievement that you can do? In that case, the best that you can do feel only just neutral. That is the bare minimum that you can do, yeah? And then everything less than that will feel bad, but you can't go over that, so nothing will ever feel really good. And that's bad. The message here is that being wrong does not make you a fraud. And not being knowledgeable about every possible technical area out there does not make you a fraud either. What you can try to do yourself, first of all, be kind to yourself. Remember how children learn to walk. They get up, they try it, they fail, they get up again and try again. What they don't do is they don't have this internal critical monologue, oh my God, I'm such a failure for not doing good enough, and look at that other kid, how well they are doing. No, they just do it. And each of you in this room, you have accomplished this. And many other feats, being children, you have learned amazing things without beating yourself over of such failures, and you can do that. Writing things down can help to put things into perspective. Just putting it into words, you can realize how some of those things might be a bit stupid as you put them into words, but it also helps to be conscious about your triggers. Reaching out to peers, you might be surprised how many others are affected. This can help as well. Finding a career mentor in the form of a senior engineer or a manager, you can discuss, and they can help to put things into perspective. They can help to understand that whatever mistake you made is not the end of the world. Celebrating achievements, of course. Keep a record of positive feedback. Don't only focus on negative things. Remind yourself of all the good things as well that you have achieved. Be patient. Every change takes time, so don't be disheartened if you want to tackle this, but it doesn't happen overnight. Everything takes time. Keep it a habit and give it some time. In the end, if you feel like it's overwhelming, it's too strong, it's beyond what you can try to do yourself, of course, seek therapy, seek professional advice. That is the major thing to do. Do not leave this untreated, because in the end, self-doubt can freeze your performance, reduce your proactivity, because you're afraid to take new challenges. And if you leave this untreated, just the anxiety part of it, your overall quality of life will be affected. So it's worth treating it. What can you do as a teammate? Whether you're affected or not, you can help your teammates a lot. For example, give out positive feedback about what they do. And I don't mean just blanket positive statements like, yeah, you're good. No, be genuine and reflect on what they do well. Be a mentor, if you can. I think this is just the other side of the equation of helping to put things into perspective for more junior members. Encourage a growth mindset and lead by example, if you can. So for example, on a fixed mindset versus growth mindset, you might be thinking, someone in a fixed mindset, I'm either good already or I'm not, versus on a growth mindset, you might be thinking, I'm not good enough, but that's okay, I can always get better. And instead of proving yourself, you want to improve yourself. Instead of avoiding challenges, you embrace challenges for a growth opportunity. Instead of treating criticism as an attack on your person, you can treat it as an opportunity to learn from it and be better. And instead of being threatened by others' successes, you can treat it as an inspiration to do even better. And leading by example here, trying to land on the right side of the screen, can have a big impact on your environment. Try to foster a culture where it's okay to not have all the right answers. Encourage this concept of trial and error. It's all fine. We've all been there. And lastly, this concept of confident vulnerability. One of the most impactful discussions that we had inside the company a couple of months ago, we hosted this panelist discussion with our build and CI black belt Gradle gurus. And if you're anything like me, that's really black magic to me. And many people can feel like that, looking at all the sorts of Gradle errors and CI issues, that, oh my God, there are these people who just know it all. And they are these magicians, they are these demigods. And I'm such a small person compared to that. What happened on this talk is many of them actually admitted in this casual conversation how many times they just do trial and error or just Google things, because also they don't know. And the impact on the audience was that the audience felt like these are not those gods that I believe them to be. They are also human, like me. And it helped to put things into perspective. Lastly, what we can do for communities on a larger level. So if you have tens or hundreds of developers, surely not everyone will join in the conversations on video calls, but you can still improve the overall experience for everyone. On a human side of things, not everyone is a male developer. And if in your language you refer to developers always 100% time, everyone is a male, then everyone who is not a male will just feel invisible. So just by using a bit more inclusive language, you can help a lot with that. Second, not everything is about tech. If all of the tech talks that you give inside your community are about these deeply technical, amazing tech talks, it makes it a bit more difficult to relate, whereas there's a human side of things. People want to have a sense of belonging to this community and don't just want to feel that you have these superstars giving all these amazing tech talks. So introducing some softer topics, fun topics can go a long way. Also, not everything is about success. If you can be confident giving a talk about what you have failed at and learn from it, what is an advice for others to not do in the future, that also helps a lot to put things into perspective and humanize all of us. On the tech talk side of things, you can try to improve the experience for both the audience and wannabe speakers. So for example, if you have dry talks, that will scare people away, not just because those are boring, but because have you ever had this feeling that you are listening to deeply technical talk that's really difficult to follow, and maybe it's just me not being smart enough? Maybe it's all out there, maybe everyone else gets it, but I can't follow it. And that makes me feel like I'm the failure here. So if you're on the other side of that, and you're the speaker, make sure that you do the best, that you do not do a dry talk, so that everyone can have an easier time engaging with your content. Try to deliver the concept rather than the deep technical details. And try to lower the entry barrier for new speakers, because if you have a larger community and it's always the same 4 or 5 people speaking, then everyone else will feel like it's not their job to engage with that, and there are the superstars, there are the small people. You don't want that. You want everyone to be able to freely express their thoughts and ideas. So first of all, you can try to spice up things a little bit by introducing new formats, shorter updates, so that it's enough to say 2 or 3 sentences with a screenshot. That might give someone the ability to speak up the first time in their lives, because it's not such a high-stake thing anymore. You can try to give them the opportunity to talk to smaller groups first, before engaging to larger audiences. There's this fun thing called slide karaoke, when you get a random bunch of slides you've never seen before. And you can do this with your friends in the office, and it helps to improve your confidence, your improvisation skills, your speaking skills, while having a fun time with your friends. Which is the strongest point probably here, is that there's a huge difference between talking to friends versus talking to strangers. So anything that you can do inside your community to make it rather feel like people are talking to friends will make it easier for them to engage with the crowd. In summary, if you yourself as an individual are affected, try to remember to be kind to yourself. Try to find a mentor. Encourage a growth mindset for yourself. Be patient with change, but if it doesn't come, don't be afraid to seek out professional help. How to be a better teammate. Give positive recognition, genuine feedback to others, celebrate the successes, mentor others, and be willing to be seen fallible. As a community, try to create a safe, empowering environment where everyone can bring out the best from them, and focus on team building and community building as much as you can. It will help a lot. On the side of tech talks, make it more enjoyable for both the audience and the speakers, trying to lower the entry barrier for anyone who entertains the idea of speaking up. In the end, the more the merrier. You don't want to miss out on any of the great ideas because people do not feel adequate enough with that. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.